Today I am going to present the introduction part. To start, I want to talk about the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. United Nations Conference on Trade and Development was started in 1964. Its goal is to help developing countries to take part in the global economy more fairly and effectively. It also helps them handle the risks that come with a connected global market. To do this, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development does three things. They provide analysis, they help countries reach consensus, and they offer technical help. In short, they help countries use trade, money, and technology to grow in a way that helps everyone. First, cultural assets. Think of this as the soul of a product. It includes our heritage, our history, and our values. It is what makes a story original and authentic. Second is the creative content. Think of this as the tool. It includes the digital channels and formats used to process and share these assets to reach the modern audience.
I will explain about concept explanation, culture asset, and creative content. Culture asset refer to culture element such as a value, tradition, language, and lifestyle used as inspiration for creative output. For example, film, music, fashion, and animation. Culture asset and creative content offer significant opportunity through digital platform, e-commerce, culture tourism, and global collaboration. This opportunity help preserve heritage while generating economic growth, creating employment, encouraging youth entrepreneurship, and expanding the reach of local culture to international market through innovation in media, design, fashion, and creative industry. That's all for me. Thank you.
For this selection, we will present the selected film along with their respective genres. We have chosen Cicakman 2006 from Malaysia and Ironman 2008 from the United States. Both films are categorized under the action and superhero genres, which make them suitable for comparison. In terms of genre, both films emphasize action elements such as fight scene and physical conflicts, as well as superhero characteristics where the main character possesses special abilities and play a role in protecting society. However, there are differences in their subgenre and key features. Cicakman incorporates elements of comedy, highlighting local humor and light storytelling that reflect nation cultural identity. On the other hand, Ironman integrates elements of science fiction, focusing on advanced technology, high-quality visual effects, and large-scale global production. Overall, although both films share the same main genre, they differ in terms of style, approach, and cultural influence. Thank you.
Today I'm gonna talk about Cicakman storyline. Cicakman's film is 2006 is a Malaysian Malay language superhero action comedy film directed by Yusri Abdul Halim that follows the origin story of Hayriyatim Saiful Apek, a timid, awkward man who lives in a fictional polluted city of Metropolis. Storyline: Hayri Gengenko like superhero, like walking on walls and climbing after accidentally consume a lizard contaminated by a secret virus created by clone technologies. After accident, he must adjust and get used to new power to stop his boss, Professor Clone, and villain in this film, who spread disease to dominate vaccine market. Theme: this film is a superhero comedy built on lipstick humor, while the protagonist is not typical superhero material. Compared grade and ethnic, the villain is Professor Clone, represent capitalist corruption, creating disaster to increase business, turnover, and critique of grades. Hayri is a humble, awkward, and timid person, highlighting the theme that anyone can be a hero, regardless of their social standing or personality that called the everyman hero. Today I'm gonna talk about Cicakman storyline. Cicakman's film is 2006 is a Malaysian.
In this slide, Cicakman can be analyzed through culture values, historical context, and visual design. In terms of culture, the main character is an ordinary person showing values like humanity, courage, and community spirits. The use of mixed language and local humor makes it relatable to Malaysian. In terms of history, the film was released in 2006 when the Malaysian film industry was still developing with limited budget and technology, but strong creativity. It was also an early attempt to create a local superhero. In terms of visual design, the costume is simple but slightly comedian, matching the film tone. Although the visual effects are not advanced, they still support the story and local identity. Overall, Cicakman show creativity in Malaysian cinema despite limitation. Thank you.
I will be presenting the Ironman storyline. Ironman 2008 is an American superhero action film directed by Jon Favreau based on the Marvel Comics character Tony Stark. The story follows Tony Stark, a billionaire genius, CEO of Stark Industries and weapons manufacturer, who is kidnapped by terrorists. This is the storyline. Tony Stark is captured by the Ten Rings and forced to build a weapon. Instead, he creates a high-tech suit to escape. After returning home, he realizes his weapons are being misused, so he stopped producing them and becomes Iron Man to correct his past mistakes. He confronts Obadiah Stane, his corrupt business partner, defeats him, and reveals his identity. Thank you. I will be presenting the Iron Man storyline. Iron Man 2008 is an American superhero action film directed by Jon Favreau.
Next, I will continue with the theme and social issue. First, the theme is divided into three, namely heroism and responsibility. Tony's journey shows that being a hero is about taking responsibility for one's action and using power for good. Second, redemption and personal change. Tony transforms from a selfish arms dealer into a selfless protector, highlighting the idea of moral growth and second chances. Third, technology and power. The film explores how advanced technology can be both beneficial and dangerous depending on how it is used. Next is social issue, war and weapons industry. The film critiques the global arms trade and how weapons can fall into the wrong hands, causing destruction and instability. Second, corporate greed and ethics. Obadiah Stane represents unethical business practice, showing how profit can be prioritized over human life. Third, terrorism and global conflict. The Ten Rings reflects real-world concerns about terrorism and international security. The last is accountability of powerful individuals. Tony Stark's decision to reveal his identity emphasizes transparency and accountability, especially for influential figures. Thank you.
I want to present my part, which is Ironman cultural values, historical context, visual or symbolism. 1. Cultural values. Ironman reflects American values of technological advancement, capitalism, military power, and individualism. The film highlights modern corporate culture, global conflict, and the relationship between technology and national security. Next, historical context. Ironman reflects historical values related to post-9/11 global security concerns, the rise of advanced military technology, and the ethical issues surrounding weapons manufacturing. The film explores the consequences of war profiteering, corporate responsibility, and technological innovation during the modern era, while emphasizing personal redemption and the shift from self-interest to social responsibility. Lastly, visual or symbolism. The Ironman suit symbolizes power, technological advancement, and personal redemption. Tony Stark's arc reactor represents survival, transformation, and his moral awakening. Stark Industries symbolizes corporate influence and the ethical dangers of weapon production, while Iron Man himself represents the idea that true heroism comes from responsibility rather than wealth or power.
The next one is comparison between Cicakman and Ironman. From our cultural and thematic perspective, we can see that Cicakman reflects Malaysian local culture through humor, language, and everyday life, by showing an ordinary man becoming a superhero. In contrast, Iron Man represents Western culture, focusing on technology, capitalism, and individual genius in a modern, innovation-driven society. In terms of technology, Cicakman used basic CGI and practical effects due to limitation in the local film industry at that time. Meanwhile, Iron Man used advanced CGI and high-level visual effects, especially in creating the Iron Man suit supported by Hollywood production technology. From a financial and investment perspective, Cicakman was produced with a low to medium budget and mainly targeted the local Malaysian market. On the other hand, Iron Man had a very high budget, target a global audience, and generate massive box office success, leading to a major film franchise.
Conclusion. The comparison between Cicakman and Iron Man shows differences in technology and global reach, but both films have strong creativity. Cicakman highlights local cultural identity but faces production limits, while Iron Man shows Hollywood's advanced technology and Western ideas. This proves film is not just entertainment but also a tool that shapes culture and audience understanding. Therefore, local film industries must balance technology with cultural identity to stay competitive globally.